Hi, this is Ken. Welcome inside my shop. Today we'll do a quick 360 view of the shop and the tools that I have in it. We'll start over here on this bench and go from there. Besides using my Dremel for shaping and grinding, I have this tabletop items over here. One of them is a horizontal grinder I use for taking off excess materials, stuff that I don't want to do with my Dremel, and kind of squaring up the edges on certain items that I'm working on. And then I've got my drill press here for doing some hole drilling and shaping of rocks. And then I have the tabletop grinder here. This is more of a rounded edge, inside outside corners type things for rounded edges, and it seems to work out pretty good. That's my little water misting system that I've got, that it's all air pressured and kind of blows the crap away, as well as providing the water to keep the bits cool and lubricated. And then we got some common stuff like stereo system, we got TV whenever that happens. We've got a, whatever that is, a 412 belt sander. Use that for flattening ring blanks and other miscellaneous materials that I need to get to a nice flat surface, especially when I'm kind of layering things together. Got a little light up here for workstation area. That's my Chicago electric rotary tool that I use on this old lathe here. Get to that in a minute. But back here I have a little invention that I made. Turned a 1" by 30" belt sander into a little grinded down like meteorites on rings. It makes it a nice flat, even surface. My original lathe that I started out with, whatever that is, 710 Harbor Freight model. At the time, I think I got that on sale for 430 bucks. I think they're close to 600 now, so it's been a couple of years. But this is mostly, I use my water spraying system on this too, to keep everything nice and cool. Rocks, rings, so you know, sometimes titanium, the meteorites, it all helps when I throw a little bit of water on them. Miscellaneous pieces and parts and everything in here. Got some the lathe tools and drill bits. Got ring blanks in here, tips for the lathe tools, all kinds of junk on that one. I have my tool drawer here mostly stocked with everything that I need for working on my main lathe, which is the only thing that I make the rings on as far as the metal work. Do all my cutting and polishing and sizing of the rings, bevels, that sort of thing. But this has been a real lifesaver for me. It took me a couple years to break down and make the purchase, but once I did, it's a good investment. And I got my unorganized tool drawer there. More tools, and the list goes on. There's a lot of my ring blanks and ring rods, from titanium to stainless steel, Damascus, and a few other odds and ends in there. Down below the lathe is my shop vac. Shop vacs, mainly I use that for cleaning up around the lathe here. Once I get done working on a ring, just makes quick work of it. The blue hose itself, if you can see that, that actually goes behind all these cabinets, comes over and goes up into my dust collection for the sandblasting cabinet. Walk back over this way here. This is my homemade flat disc grinder that made out of an old cooler motor, and got a switch in the back side over there, pump down in the bottom, all operated off a foot switch. That's a GFI adapter, so everything is on, it's GFI protected when I'm working with water. So mainly this is for flat work. Some of the rocks that I do, I polish up real nice. But I can do a little bit of round work like I did on this one. It is actually, I'm calling this a hybrid because it's two different types of rocks. I'll show you more on that in a minute. Down below I got my pressure pot set up for the sandblasting cabinet. I've never done siphon feed, it's always been pressure pot. Back over here I've got my Panther plotter cutter, vinyl cutter. Use that for making sandblast masks and just general different signage and stuff like that. Of course, you got all the good junk down here, the nuts, bolts, and screws and that stuff. You got a toaster oven for heating up when I do wood stabilization. And then I got an ultraviolet light down there, that's the black thing, for hardening up resins. And on my turntable for doing product videos. This down here is a titanium anodizer. Use that on titanium rings. And then I got miscellaneous wires and stuff in my apron for working with. Over here I've got my mechanics tool chest. Mainly that's, I do some, a lot of tool modifications actually. So I got different types of mechanics tools in there, wrenches and socket sets and all that sorts of stuff. And back over here, got my main Dremels. Fortiflex there is what I use mainly inside my rock carving cabinet. And that's turned out pretty good. I've got a video on it. I'll place a link in the description. You can check that out if you want to. I also have a link in the description for the sandblast cabinet. And then I've got my little computer area here, printer. Got a monitor that I can check out my security cameras on, as well as when I'm doing rock carving here. I can go ahead and turn that a little bit, and then I can kind of get a picture and use it as a reference while I'm carving on rocks, because a lot of times your pencil marks and marker marks just kind of disappear. So it's a great little reference tool. You see up there miscellaneous odds and ends, heat torch and tapes and compasses, stuff like that. And then let's see, back over here I've got this vise that I made, and well, I didn't really make it, I just kind of fitted it. This is actually a bench vise. Use it for press work. So if I want to layer like a ring in several different layers, put all the pieces and parts together, get it glued up, then I can just tighten it down and I don't have to worry about it sliding around. Put some wood backing on there so the metal doesn't damage anything. My bench vise here, I use that for crushing rocks, and I've actually got a link to a video on that one in the description as well. And then of course your vise for all your daily odds and ends that you're doing. Back over here I got my compressor. I got a wooden bandsaw, which I very rarely ever use, but it's there in case I need it. Some odds and ends back over there. Hammers, extension cords, safety mask, face shield. Down below I got a scroll saw. Haven't used that in quite a while, but want to get back into it someday, so I'm not ready to part with it yet, so it just kind of sits down there. My rag bends, I got all my different woods for ring inlays. The all-important garbage can down underneath there. And then the blue bin and the fish and tackle box down there. It's got all my miscellaneous minerals in it, rose quartz and stuff like that, versus just the garden rocks that I use for some of my other projects. And the cabinets are just full of different stuff, and we won't go through all those right now, but like that area over there is mostly my automotive stuff, and then camera stuff, equipment, and here's and there's. Up in there, got different sandpapers and glues, that sort of thing. Didn't mention my sandpaper for making rings, the bends for that. And then back up in that one, that's all my Starbond glue that I use for making rings, odds and ends, and a bunch of videos in there which I never use. So you've kind of seen all that stuff there. Inside of that is a disaster, so we're not even going to go there right now. Let's take a quick walk outside and I'll show you what I got out there for my saws. It's my metal bandsaw I use for cutting the titanium stainless steel rods for making ring blanks. And there's my tile saw for cutting rocks. And this is my slab and disc slicer version 1, and I got to pay a little attention to that, but I use that for cutting larger rocks. It's a 9x16 cutting area. It's all water fed. Works out pretty good. Some rocks stored back over here, a metal storage, tiles, and sandstone and stuff. Got a press there, 6-ton press if I need it. Table saw that I never use. So with that in mind, that pretty much kind of clears up a lot of what I got in here. It doesn't tell you what all of it does, and that'll all come in time. Yeah. But anyway, hey, I just want to thank you for watching, and before I forget, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and the bell for future videos. Once again, thanks for watching, and hope you all have a great day. See you soon.